Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name is Athena. This channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. And we've all been meeting up here every week for over 9 years. This is a place where we come and we gather together. We share what's working for us in our healing journey. We share what's not working. And while many of us in our community are trauma-informed helping professionals and practitioners, when we show up here together on YouTube, we are showing up here as peers. So this is trauma-informed peer support. And this is just a way for us to connect with the greater trauma community and to provide a safe space for anyone who's healing complex trauma. Between their therapy appointments, sometimes they need a place to come and to check in with others who have a similar lived experience. And that is what this is. So a warm welcome to you if this is your very first time clicking on one of these videos. I'm so honored that you've chosen to be here with us today. And for those who are here for our live discussion, I just want to pause and say thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. And thank you for showing up week after week, month after month, year after year for over 9 years. Many of you have been here the whole time. And a special thank you to our Blue Wrench crew, our moderators. I'm talking about you, Ninja Taco, and you, John Harvey. Thank you for being here and keeping the chat stream a safe place. A warm welcome to you, Ninja Taco, John Harvey, Craig, Gabi, and Shorty Angel. Hello. Warm welcome to you guys. I'm so glad to see you. It's always such an honor to be here with you every single week. I love being here with you. So what we've been doing over the last couple of years is we've been doing some meditations, some affirmations. We've woven in some healing strategies and some breath work. And the whole purpose of that is for this to be a place where we can regulate our nervous system. Yes, it's a safe place to chat in the chat box and to connect with others, but it's also a place where we can come and co-regulate. So when we co-regulate with others, we're able to help our nervous system feel safe so that when we're by ourselves and we're not co-regulating with others, that we may self-regulate. So that is why we're here and that is what we're doing. So the theme for this week is embracing the non-linear nature of the journey we're on. Because as many of you know, if not all of you, healing is not a linear process. We don't get to just heal in a straight line, start healing now and then just be done healing. I wish it were so. I wish that were the case. But the complex nature of complex trauma requires a bit of a complex, multifaceted, multi-pronged approach. So we have our meditations, we have our affirmations, we have our healing strategies, we have our breath work. We also have our peer support, and all of these things are tertiary means of support that are like adjunctive to your primary care and your secondary care, your mental health care, your trauma-informed practitioners, your psychiatrist, psychologist, mental health professional, counselor, therapist, social worker, all of these types of things, your support groups. And then we come together here and we share what's working and what hasn't been working. So it is a joy and an honor to connect with you in a meaningful way here on social media. What an honor, what a gift. Hello, welcome back. Warm welcome to Jennifer and Midnight Blue. So good to see you. It's always so good to be here with all of you. So we will begin with some breath work. We're going to do some box breathing. You can also do a 4-5-7 where you breathe in for 4, hold for 5, out for 7. That's a bit advanced, and you don't need to jump right to a 4-5-7 breath work. If you want to breathe in for 2, hold for 2, out for 2, if that's a little bit more your speed, then by all means, that is absolutely welcome here. I'm going to guide you in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and we'll do that 4 times. Okay? So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. As always, I'll describe for you my posture and sitting position and how I'm setting myself up for optimum self-care. So I'm sitting in my work area, and I have my feet elevated out in front of me, so there's no pressure being put on any part of my body. I have a pillow supporting my posture behind my back. I'm sitting upright, and I have my hand on my heart and my other hand resting peacefully near my belly, close to my lap. So we will breathe in for 4, hold for 4, we'll breathe out for 4, and we will do that 4 times together. If you feel yourself start to yawn, it's a great sign. It means you've activated your parasympathetic nervous system, also known as your rest and digest. This helps to let your brain and body know that you're not in danger. Ready? We're going to inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Feel free to adjust your sitting position. Maybe stretch your neck. Big yawn for me. Once you're comfortable, we'll go again. We're going to inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Again. Last time. Inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. How are you feeling? I feel invigorated. I feel very grateful to be here with you. Hello, Kate. Always so good to see you. Oh, hello to you, Charlie. Kate says, hi, family. Charlie says, hi from the UK. I'm grateful to be here. I usually listen on Tuesdays. This is my first time here live. We are so grateful you're here. Oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better, Midnight Blue. I'm feeling better too. Oh, I feel like I have some spontaneous yawns. I love being here co-regulating with you all. It is such a joy. So we are going to begin with our meditation, as we usually do, with Morgan Harper Nichols. And let's see here. Again, this week's theme is embracing the non-linear journey that we find ourselves on, because healing is non-linear. It's not a simple process. It's not a straight line. For some reason, I can't. There we go. It wouldn't pop up for me. I was looking for the meditation. Here we go. So Morgan says, so many things are changing around you, and you are changing too. But perhaps you're tired of changing. You might be exhausted from constantly adapting and transforming. You crave consistent rhythms, yearning for more security. Living in a constantly changing environment can make you feel trapped in a cycle where you feel obligated to persist, hoping for a respite somewhere in the distant future. Although I may not be aware of the specifics of what you control and what you don't in your life currently, I can share this. Observing the effects of change in real time can be challenging. Accepting this reality can be hard, especially when we are experiencing change, both personally and collectively. We may find ourselves asking, when will we finally get to rest? When will constant change cease to be our new normal? Where is the stability, the consistency, the steady rhythms? That's when we need to acknowledge this. The very act of asking these questions indicates that we are vibrantly alive in the present. Even if we don't have the answers, the fact that we're asking these questions signifies that we're still here, and that matters. We may not instantly understand all the changes, and we might need rest for days, weeks, or even seasons. However, we can trust that there's still room for beneficial change to occur, and that we can contribute to this change. Resting does not imply that we are inactive. Resting is one part of us being alive. And we are allowed to do what we can to create more space for it. If we're currently attempting to make sense of convoluted emotions or an overwhelming list of responsibilities, it doesn't undermine our contribution, even if we can't show up like others right now. So take a moment to look around and observe. Where is positive change happening around you, despite everything? And how, even in the smallest way, can you contribute to that positive change? Remember, even if you are apprehensive about the unknown, this remains true. You are changing in ways that aren't immediately visible. One day, you will reflect and recognize that despite the uncertainty, you were learning to take deep breaths in each moment to be as present as possible. And that is significant. Choosing to be present amidst change is indeed a substantial choice. How is that? How are you? Hello, Angela. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Craig says, thank you. My garden of higher emotions was watered just right today, in all the right places. Oh, it's someone's birthday. Oh, it's Craig's birthday. Craig? I had no idea. Happy birthday to you. Oh, I'm so grateful for your life. I'm so glad you were born. Hello, Nocturne. Oh. Midnight Blue says, this is the perfect topic because I have work that I've been doing on that with Eckhart Tolle, with the Eckhart Tolle channel today, or lately. That's amazing. Shorty Angel says it was very affirming. Aw, so good to see you all. Angela, happy early birthday to you for tomorrow. This is for you, and this is for Craig. Happy birthday to both of you. There we go. Oh, I'm sending you both hugs. Where's John Harvey with his chocolate cake? That's all I want to know. Okay, we're moving along now to our affirmation with Lisa A. Romano. So, really quickly, the meditation I just read for you, as always, is from the free resource from Morgan Harper Nichols. And her website is called The Storyteller. And you can sign up for free. She sends out 1 email a week. And it comes out on Sundays. And that's what I just read to you. And it's what I read to you every week. The affirmation I'm about ready to read to you is from the free app by Lisa A. Romano titled Loving the Self. It's available in the App Store. It's a little pink, peach colored app called Loving the Self. It's free. There's a paid version, but you don't need it in order to get daily journal prompts and daily affirmations. I have the longer version here from her book titled Loving the Self Affirmations. And here we go. We oftentimes struggle with boatloads of guilt because in many cases we may have felt like we could never be enough for our caretakers, family, friends, or lovers. We oftentimes internalized those negative feelings, and we may have assumed guilt we never deserved. We would feel guilty for not being able to keep the people in our lives happy. So today, I commit myself to being aware that my greatest responsibility in this life is to my own self. My worth is not found in how well I am able to keep other people happy. My worth is a given. It always was. Today I will look guilt in the face and let it go. Nothing is more important today than that I feel good about my inner being and my healing journey. So powerful. I love how Lisa acknowledges how it is natural for us to struggle with these feelings of guilt because we were made to feel as though we were not enough for our caretakers, family, friends, or lovers. And that as a result of not feeling like we were enough because we were made to feel that way, we internalized those negative feelings and we took on this guilt that we never deserved. I love how Lisa sheds light on this, and she talks about how sometimes we feel guilty for not being able to keep other people happy, but today's a new day. Today we can commit ourselves to being aware that our greatest responsibility in this life is to our own self, our own well-being. Our worth and our value are not found in how well we're able to keep other people happy. Our worth is a given. I love this last statement. Nothing is more important today than that I feel good about my inner being and my healing journey. So healthy for us to let that go. So we are going to move on to our healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. I'm reading to you now from Dr. Ariel's book titled A Practical Guide to Complex PTSD, Compassionate Strategies to Begin Healing from Childhood Trauma. So this healing strategy from Dr. Ariel is titled The Weather Report and Forecast. And Ariel says, emotions are like the weather. This healing strategy invites you to take a mindful look at your current weather report. For example, you might notice that you feel calm and relaxed, like a sunny day. Or maybe you feel stirred up, like a tornado, because someone ignored your boundaries. You can create a weather forecast as you prepare for upcoming events. Just as a prediction of rain helps you remember to bring your umbrella, you are better able to prepare yourself when you take an honest look at challenging events. For example, if you know you are visiting with a critical family member, you might plan for stormy emotions of sadness, hurt, and anger. This awareness can remind you to make changes so you can feel more protected, grounded, and connected to your center, such as staying at a hotel instead of in your childhood home. Or you might choose not to visit at all. Take a few breaths and then create a weather report for your current emotional landscape. Reflect upon any events that may have shaped this weather pattern. Now that you have gained awareness of your emotions, see if you can offer yourself the gift of self-acceptance. For example, you might say to yourself, I am okay just as I am. Or, my emotions are welcome here. Now, think of an upcoming event. Can you create a weather forecast that predicts how you might feel? You can prepare for the muddy, messy moments of life by paying attention to the signs of a storm ahead. Remember, though, that we cannot always predict the weather accurately. Sometimes how you actually feel in the moment may be different than what you expected. As you practice your weather forecasts, notice if your accuracy increases over time. How about you guys? Can you think of a time when you were able to participate in a weather forecast? And you were able to accurately or inaccurately predict the weather? Kate says, I just tried it Friday. I failed, but I left quickly. That's excellent self-care, Kate. Ooh, Nocturne says, I always thought I had to push through such emotions. Yes, Midnight Blue. Midnight Blue says, like an action plan. Kate says, yes, prepping. John Harvey says, my emotions have a mind of their own. They do what they want. Midnight Blue says, I know what you mean, John. I lead with feeling. Craig says, I work outside. I find the weather. Oh. Craig says, I find the weather reports are handicapped. In other words, Craig, are you saying that they are not always accurate? Shorty Angel says, I like this. I'll try it. I think I predict and then stuff it down. Right now it's not so helpful to stuff it away. Yeah. Yeah, Craig says yes, the weather reports are not always accurate. So Angela says, growing up, people around me that were emotional hurt me a lot. So I've rather moved away from emotionality, but it's not that healthy for me. Hello, Clary. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Hello, hello. I'm waving back at you. So I have a question, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat box. Would it be helpful for me to share with you an example of when I was able to inaccurately do a weather forecast and then how I practiced self-care versus a time when I was able to accurately predict the weather and how I proceeded? Is that something that you might find helpful? I'm happy to be vulnerable and to share with you. Shorty Angel gives me a thumbs up. Kate gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thumbs up. I love it. Hey, Jeffrey Sherman. Great to see you. Jeffrey Sherman says, that would be great, Athena. Ninja Taco gives me a thumbs up. Nocturne gives me a thumbs up. Jeffrey Sherman gives me a thumbs up. Angela gives me a thumbs up. Okay, here we go. So I am just going to share vulnerably with you. I don't know what season of life you may find yourself in, but I am a 49, almost 50-year-old woman who is divorced, and I am dating for the first time in a very long time. I did briefly reunite with a friend of mine. It didn't really work out in the way that I was hoping that it would. There was just a missed connection there, a lack of vulnerability on their part, and I also met another person, and there was again just a missed connection and a lack of authenticity on their part. And so I'm sort of in that place where I know that I'm worth the utmost level of respect and love and kindness, and I'm not willing to settle for less. Why do I know this? Because I've worked so hard. I've gone to countless workshops. I've read countless books. I've been in therapy, and I have had the privilege and honor of supporting thousands of other people in their own relational healing journeys. And I've learned what I want versus what I don't want, what I deserve versus what I don't deserve. And I'm not willing to settle for someone who isn't willing to show up in the relationship in the same or similar ways in which I am showing up in the relationship. I will no longer be the person that does the heavy lifting in the relationship. I deserve to be treated with unconditional acceptance and love and respect. And I look forward to someday having the honor and privilege and joy of loving someone else unconditionally and showing them unconditional warm regard and respect and love and kindness and acceptance. And I'm willing to wait for that. So there's that. Aw, thank you, Midnight Blue. Midnight Blue says, wow, you look so much younger in your picture. I get that a lot. People tell me I look younger all the time. I think it's because I take really good care of myself. I hydrate a lot. I'm active. I take good care of my skin. I eat relatively healthy. And I do my best to rest. And I have a healthy regular meditation and mindfulness practice. And I'm practicing self-love and self-compassion, self-acceptance, self-care, and I'm able to then show those things to another person and be warm and kind and loving and accepting toward other people. So thank you so much. So I am finding myself in a way in a place where I am dating. I'm getting ready to, I'm in the place where I'm, going out on first dates. Well, now follow me here. This is me sharing with you two things. One, how I was unsuccessful in predicting the weather forecast, and then how I practice self-care. That's what I'm going to share first. And then I will share with you a way that I was able to accurately predict the weather and what I did and how I took care of myself in those ways. Because I am the only person in charge for my safety and my healing and my journey and my worth and my value. And it's my responsibility to take care of myself, right? It's my job. So first, the unsuccessful weather forecast. So going into this brand new dating situation, I haven't gone out on any type of date at all. I hadn't in, over 3 months. But I went out on this very first date, and I have, just like any complex trauma survivor, I approached this dating situation with, okay, I know myself. I know my triggers. I know that in order for me to feel safe and secure, there need to be checks and balances. And I have this list that I go down. I need to check in with myself. I need to trust my intuition. I need to make sure that I feel safe, set myself up for success. I put things in place, like my cousins, for instance. They knew I was going out on a first date. They knew the address I was parking my car. They knew the restaurant I was going to. They knew the times, the meetups. They knew the name of the person I was meeting. They knew, they were very familiar with the area. They knew everything. So they knew where to find me, where to find my car, the name of the person that I was meeting with, etc., if something were to happen, right? It's a little town. It's not a big town. It's just a little town, right? So I knew ahead of time that as I'm looking for someone that I want to go out on a date with, one of the things that happened in my marriage, my former marriage with my ex-husband, he came from a family where everyone was very, 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 very skinny and very wiry, and it was just their body type. And I realized, being married to him and being in their family, that they would shame me passive aggressively. They would show their disapproval with my body style, with their glances. He would show his disapproval of my style, my shape of body, through just glances of disapproval, withholding of love, just offhanded comments, just general unkindness. And so I knew going into this whole dating situation that I only wanted to, I'm not attracted physically to men who are very skinny and that are my height. I knew going into it that I wanted to go out on a date with someone who was much taller and more broad, built broadly, or more stout than I. That is something that was important to me. So I sought that out along with the interpersonal attributes and the intangibles, and checking in with myself. Do I feel safe talking to this person? What do I like about this person? Do we have similar core beliefs and values? What are we looking for in a mate? Is this person looking for a long-term relationship, a monogamous relationship? Is this person a parent? Are they a single parent? How old are their children? Are they a family person? Do they value family? Are they also someone who is self-employed, like I am? Or what type of job do they work at? What do they do on their spare time? What are their hobbies? What types of friends do they spend their time with? These are all things that I was keeping in mind as I was going in to this weather forecast situation. And I was able to finally work my way through all of it and get to a place where I was feeling safe enough to go out on this first date with this person after going down this entire list of interpersonal attributes, intangibles, as well as the physical attributes like their stature, their build, etc. So I thought that I had accurately predicted the weather. I set myself up for success. I had checks and balances in place. I did everything I could to prepare myself for the date. Well, when I showed up at the meet, this person was approximately 8 inches shorter than they said they were on their profile, and 30 pounds lighter. You guessed it, same height and build as my ex-husband. I was instantly in an emotional flashback. I was triggered. I felt duped. I felt lied to. And I felt frozen and sort of dissociated. And I didn't really know what to do. I quickly made sure that I was able to check in with my body and ground myself and reminded myself all the things I went through to create safety for myself in this moment, which is super important for a complex trauma survivor, to remind ourselves that we are empowered. Our safety is not in question. We are adults now. Our worth and our value are not in question. I was able to go through my mental checklist. I was able to send a text message to my cousins and let them know that I had arrived and that I would be messaging them shortly. And I proceeded with the date and I cut it short. It ended up being a very awkward sort of situation, and he ended up being able to sort of perhaps intuit the fact that he looked absolutely nothing like his profile picture, and he had lied about his height. And he could tell that I could tell. And I knew that he knew that I knew. And so I told him that I would prefer to leave. He then invited me to come back and watch TV with him. And I said, I don't know you. There is no scenario on any planet in any universe where I'm going to go to the home of someone I don't know and hang out and like Netflix and chill with some dude I don't even know. Thank you for the invite, but no thank you. Appreciate it, but no. And so we walked back and I said thank you and I left. I contacted my cousins and I treated myself to my very favorite dinner. I bought myself dinner and I had a lovely rest of my evening. And I practiced excellent self-care. I did some breathing exercises. I turned on my Insight timer in my car and I boomed my Insight timer through my Bluetooth speakers in my car, and I listened to some grounding meditations all the way home. I took the long way home by the water and looked at the ocean, and it was lovely. It was not what I expected, and it was the best possible outcome due to the fact that there's nothing I could have done to predict that weather forecast. I did everything I could preemptively, and unfortunately, due to dishonesty and inability to be authentic on their part, was the reason why I was unable to accurately predict the weather. But I took good care of myself, and my emotional flashback did not last a week or a day, but it only lasted a few hours. And I'm really proud of myself because things like that would have flung me into an emotional flashback that could have lasted months because I wouldn't have known how to ground myself or believe that I had the power to take care of myself and the ability to create pockets of safety for myself, and that my worth and my value and my safety were not in question. So that's one example of when a weather forecast situation goes awry and you aren't able to accurately predict the weather. I'm going to share with you now, and then I will wrap this up, a situation where I was able to accurately predict the forecast, the weather report, and how empowering it has been because it's changed my life forever. So all it takes is once. All it takes is one time for you to accurately predict the weather, to accurately be able to do a weather forecast. And you will then be able to check in with your body and see how that feels. And you will be able to recall that feeling of confidence and competency and capability and worth and value and safety. And you'll be able to carry that with you everywhere you go. And if it doesn't feel true yet, that's okay. If what I'm sharing doesn't feel possible yet, that's okay. You only need be open to being open. You don't have to have it figured out. So here it is. This is the situation in which I was able to predict the weather. You've already heard this story if you've been on this channel for any amount of time. The year is 2019. My son is graduating with his undergrad. His wife is graduating with her doctorate. And one of my family members, with whom I have been no contact since 2014, is going to be there at either one or both of the graduations. And if they're not, I know they're going to be at the graduation party. Why? Because I planned the party and I sent them an invitation. Why did I break no contact? Why did I send them the invitation? Because my son and his wife deserve to be celebrated. And I knew that I was going to be able to accurately do the weather forecast. And I was able to set myself up for success with plan A, plan B, and plan C. And this is how I did it. Again, the year is 2019. The date is May 22nd, 23rd. Probably exactly 4 years ago today. And I predicted that she would show up either at one or both of the graduations. And if she wasn't at one or both of the graduations, that she would be at the graduation party. I predicted the outfit she would be wearing, how it would fit her, like how it would hang on her body. I predicted that she would have band-aids on her skin that were visible to others. I predicted that she would walk with a limp, carry a cane, and wear very specific shoes, even if she didn't need to. Because if she wore baggy clothes, people would comment on, oh, have you recently lost some weight? And if she had visible band-aids, people would be able to go, oh, what happened? Are you healing from something? And if she walked with a limp, people would have to run beside her and walk with her and run to her aid. And if she had her cane, they would be able to know that she needed help and that she was wounded or needed assistance in some way. And same with the shoes. Just the way that everything, I just knew that that would be how the whole thing happened. I also predicted that she would be the first to arrive and one of the first to leave. I knew she would be one of the first to arrive because she likes to show up early. And I knew that she was going to try to corner me and pull me aside and have sidebar conversations with me. All of the very first things I mentioned were so that the attention would be on her and not necessarily on those with whom we were celebrating. And I knew that she would show up early so that she could control the environment and choose where she wanted to be and where to position herself so that she could get the maximum amount of attention from the maximum amount of people that she wanted attention from. I also knew that she would try to pull me aside and have sidebar conversations because, well, let's face it, that's what people do. Manipulators like to pull you aside, isolate you so that they can gaslight you, and that you don't have any way to know whether or not your version of reality is the real version of reality or if their version of reality is the real version of reality. So what did I do? Set myself up for success. Plan A, I had not one, but two of my cousins that were going to be there. They were going to be early. They were going to actually arrive with me so that when I arrived, they would walk up with me. If she happened to have been there early, at least I wouldn't be alone when I walked up. If they got there with me first and she arrived first, one of them would go and they would have conversation with her. If she tried to pull me aside at any point throughout the entire evening, the other one, they would come up together and one of them would engage her in polite and friendly conversation that was engaging, and then the other would pull me aside and need me to go handle something in the kitchen or help them with the cake or the balloons or the banner or the video reel that was celebrating my son and, like, from the time he was a baby all the way through college graduation, the video that you put up on the big, like, 10-foot screen or whatever. But I had all these things in place. That was plan A. Plan B was I had someone, the party planner, I hired a day of coordinator they knew to come get me if they saw that I was being pulled aside by this one particular person, and if she had singled me out for whatever reason, and my cousins weren't available, that she would come over and she would need my attention immediately. And then plan C was that I had someone on standby, that I would go to the restroom and I would be on the phone with them in the restroom, and then they could help ground me. They could read to me or ask me a series of questions that would help me feel fully present in my body. So just so you know, short story long, I accurately predicted the weather. She arrived first. She did try to pull me aside several times. My cousins came to the rescue. They did what they were supposed to do. And, it happened several different times throughout the evening. And each time, all of the people that I had around me, my safe enough people, my small circle, they were there. They were there for me. They had my back. I never once ever felt like I was not empowered, like I was unsafe, like my worth was in question, my value was in question, my safety was in question. I knew that I had done the best job possible. I accurately predicted the weather. And ever since that moment 4 years ago, I have known with every fiber of my being that I would never again feel victimized by her. I would never again feel unsafe. I would never again feel unworthy. I would never again feel afraid. And I never have. So I'm telling you, it's possible, because I waited 40-something years to be able to have that moment. And I remember what it felt like in my body. And I'll never forget it. There is no way anyone on this planet is going to cause me to feel less than or unsafe ever again. And if I can do it, so can you, because I was a victim to my circumstances and under the power and the mind control of my family of origin for over 40 years. And I'm telling you right now that if I can plan ahead and predict the forecast the way that Dr. Ariel says, then I know you can too. Okay? And you better believe I rewarded myself for successfully navigating that situation. I absolutely rewarded myself. I celebrated every single moment of victory that I had. And I often think back to how it felt to navigate that situation. If I can do it, you can too. Okay? John Harvey, chocolate cake? Actually, this one was white cake, but you better believe I had me some cake. And I rented a little cabin up in the mountains and gave myself a couple days to just retreat and cocoon and do nothing with no one. Just up in the mountains, looking at the trees, listening to the birds, going for walks by the lake, sitting by the fireplace, and eating cake. Yes, I did. Oh, you all are so amazing. Thank you so much for being here. So were those 2 examples helpful? Even if you can't predict the weather, right? Like Dr. Ariel says, even if it's an inaccurate weather forecast because life is messy, you have the power to create pockets of safety in your life. You really do. And even when you have a successful weather pattern prediction, sometimes things happen, but it's important to celebrate the little victories. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. If you like being connected with everyone, we do something very similar to this every single day through the foundation. And we also have just a group where we message back and forth every single day. There's a link in the description section of this video. There's also a link in the chat box, at the pinned comment, and then one that I just put in there. And I hope to see you there. And if not, that's okay. I'll see you here next Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay? So please take excellent care of yourself because you're worth it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, a very special thank you to you, Ninja Taco, and you, John Harvey. I really couldn't do this without you. I appreciate you keeping the chat box a safe place for all of us to be. Good night, everyone.